What went from a really entertaining main event to, sometimes hard to watch towards the end. What is your take on this Glover Teixeira victory over Anthony Smith?
Yeah, well, first of all, Teixeira looked great. He's in the best shape I've seen him in a long time. Smith, tough, durable, like we know he is. I thought the corner wouldn't let him come out for the fifth round. He was spitting his teeth out. He was, every time I'm no doctor, but I would bet anything he's got a broken orbital. Every time he got hit, he would react to it and turn away. And, I thought his corner wouldn't let him go out for the fifth.
He stayed true to his nickname, Lionheart. I mean, he wasn't going to take himself out of there. He obviously needed somebody else to step in, and that was eventually the referee. Glover Teixeira, though, you mentioned it, looked great. I mean, it seems like he has a resurgence. This is his fourth win in a row, and he continues to grow even at 40 years old.
He's one of those guys. He's like Shogun. Every time you think he's done, he actually comes back and wins the fight and looks good doing it. So he had a really good night tonight. Right when the fight started, I said, "Wow, Teixeira looks good. He looks in the best shape I've seen him in a while." Had abs tonight, looked lean, and obviously had the cardio to go 5 rounds.
Yeah, he was certainly prepared for that. That will be interesting to see what happens next with him, because he is ranked number 8, but he just took out number 4. So I know he wants another shot at that belt. I'm not going to make you match make tonight. But let's talk about the co-main event. Ben Rothwell defeated OSP. OSP made his debut at heavyweight. How did you feel he looked, and did you agree with the decision?
Yeah, he looked. Listen, that was a close fight. If OSP would have turned it on a little sooner, he could have won that fight. He could have finished Rothwell. But it was a tough fight. Too close to call for me to say. That fight could have gone either way, and it would have been tough to argue. But both guys looked good. They came out. It was a good fight, action-packed fight. I thought Rothwell was really busy, kept coming forward. He also was in great shape. To go the distance, and good fight.
Would you like to see OSP remain at heavyweight or move back down to 205?
That's up to him, I thought he looked big and strong at that weight. When he went in against an old school tough veteran who looked good tonight. And, Big Ben's a heavy puncher and heavy kicks. Yeah. He, OSP seemed to take his shots pretty well. There were a couple of times he has that style where he runs away, and but he did that at 205 too. That's just sort of his thing.
Yeah. Okay. So that was our co-main event where Ben Rothwell was victorious. But I want to talk to you about Drew Dober. Massive performance against Alex Hernandez. Alex is a guy that we talk about a lot. He was ranked, and Drew Dober comes out here and just has a brilliant performance and ends up finishing him. What did you think about that fight?
Yeah, he looked great. Incredible performance by him tonight. Big win, obviously, for him, in his career right now. And, he looked great.
Yeah, so lots of great fights here in Jacksonville. I would love to hear your take on just your thoughts after 2 events. This is a new atmosphere. I mean, there's no fans here. There's a lot that's very different for us. But what have you taken away from these first 2 cards here?
It reminds me of the Ultimate Fighter or the Contender Series, So if this was the first time I've ever been to a fight with no crowd, it would be really weird. But I've done it a lot, in the last 20 years. Obviously I would much rather have the fans here, because there's nothing like putting on a great event like Saturdays with a packed house and, a main event like that was. It's the energy and the buzz and the excitement and the noise, and it's all the things that make a fight fun. But when you're watching this on TV, it's the same. If the fights are good, it's a good night.
And people seem really happy with the broadcast product that they have seen. If you can just touch upon a little bit of what for you were the big successes of UFC 249.
First of all, was pulling it off, finding somebody that actually tested positive and in time for him not to compete, and now us being able to take care of him. Now we have 2 shows under our belt with only 1 person testing positive. The fights were incredible, and the show was a success in every possible way that it could be successful. So far so good. We got 1 more to go this week on Saturday, and then pack up and go home.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.